So it's nice to have the bathroom done.
Cheers.
Well, not so much.
No, I think we're resigned to the fact that the bathroom's never going to be done. And quite frankly, it's caused us grief.
To drink.
Yes, we're, despite if you've listened to one of our previous episodes where we said we weren't going to be drinking as much anymore during the week.
No
It's
carbs.
one of those nights.
No carbs.
One of those whiskey nights. There's no carbs in whiskey, so
we
so it's healthy.
last night Laurie was working and the infamous plumber came in to finish the job, and he's come close to finishing us off.
We pretty much.
So
Now we have a leak down our
You know
back
what's funny?
wall.
I was actually having a really good day at work today. Like, it was a lot of stuff going on, a couple meetings, good conversations with my boss, but it was a good, I had a great meeting with one of my teams today, and I just was I was in a really good mood. And then
I text you.
my watch buzzed, and I looked, and
Showed you a
what
picture.
I saw was, what was it?
Ceiling tile. I sent you a picture. Of
No,
ceiling
it was hold on. It was the quote.
What quote?
I'll read it.
I quoted something.
No, just don't worry about it. Hold on, let me just read it because it's. This is the first. These are the words I see first. Ready? I don't see a
Okay.
picture yet.
Okay.
I see.
Oh yeah.
I am disgusted.
No, that's not the first thing I said.
No, but that's what the first thing I see.
Oh, that's funny.
Because it was the last. For some reason,
Yeah.
the other ones didn't.
Because the first thing I said was, we have a problem.
No, I'm sorry. You're right. That
we
is the first thing I
have
saw.
a problem.
Hold on.
It was the first
Big
thing.
problem.
Oh, big problem.
You're right. That's what I saw. I forgot that there were a lot of negative.
We have a
texts in
big
here.
problem.
Big problem is what you
Oh,
said.
just big problem.
So I'm like, the house is on fire. The car blew up.
Big problem. And then I
But I
text you a
knew.
picture of a
But I knew right
ceiling
away.
tile saturated wet. So
I knew, though, with big problem.
you knew it was plumbing, because
I
that's
knew-
the
I
only
knew it
problems
was the
we've had
bathroom.
in this house.
Knew it was the
the
bathroom.
only problems
Flipping
we've
ridiculous.
had. So if you're a plumber and you want to help us, we'd love to have you help us.
Give
if
you
you're a
free
good
advertising.
plumber, we could advertise you
Or
for
ruin
our
you.
6
You
listeners.
stink.
Or ruin you. No, we would never ruin anybody. Nope. So needless to say, we fired the plumber. So we need a new plumber to come and fix his mistakes and to put our life back together over here.
I'm just excited that I'll be paying
More money.
more money.
Yeah, we love paying money.
Anyways.
So we'll move on from that because it's really depressing.
I thought, but
And
I teachable moments always in
Yep.
life of faith, journey of life. And Laurie had a fascinating conversation with our former plumber now, and at one point, a lot was discussed, but at one point, I kind of just gave her the signal, like, no, we're moving on. Like, I'm not dealing with this guy. We're not gonna come after him. Clearly this is not gonna get done with him. And Laura just made the point of, this is a good, well, I forget how you put it, good opportunity to grow in generosity and patience, or it was something like that.
patience and forgiveness,
That's
I
what it
said.
was.
So if nothing
Patience
else,
and forgiveness.
this has been
Amen.
an opportunity for both of us, I said to him, to grow in patience and forgiveness.
Yeah.
And I said, whenever you think of us, because he said, I won't
Don't
stop
why do
thinking.
you keep repeating
I
that
said,
line. That was I almost put my head through my truck
I
window.
said, just say a prayer for our family every time you think of this horrible project that you've done here at this house. End of story.
There's a little bit of woe to me going on for the guy who screwed up my life.
Anyway, he didn't screw up your life, but he did screw up our bathroom and our
basement.
basement. And anyway, so
You gotta laugh.
we have to laugh. After this whiskey is at the bottom, I might be able to laugh. I'm not laughing now.
You have to laugh.
I also started off the day I started off the day with adoration, so that was actually wonderful, and took our oldest daughter to adoration. Then she had an appointment in Boston, and I realized
Your
I'm
favorite city.
officially old. I cannot stand driving in a city, especially a
What does that
city
do with being old? You
where
never could stand
no,
it.
I, as a young person,
How many years
I
ago
went
was this?
A long time. This is the point I'm making. I've realized I'm old. As a young, I went to Boston. I was telling our daughter this as we were driving. I was like, I used to like Boston. I liked it as a teenager.
I still like
took,
Boston.
but I took the T in. In fairness, I never really
That's
had to
different.
drive it.
That's
so I would
different.
take the T in and go to Newbury Street with my
Sure.
friend, and we spent a lot of time in Boston as teenagers, especially as older teenagers. And as an adult, I have now one time been stuck in Boston in a snowstorm in a van full
Just
of
bad decision
girls.
making.
In a van full of little girls that my sister-in-law and I took them to Disney on Ice for a Christmas present, and we got stuck in Boston and literally missed the Disney on Ice. That was how many years ago? That was horrible. I had a nursing baby. We were 3 hours in the van.
7 years ago now, I think.
It was a long, because Celeste was a nursing baby.
Yeah, so maybe like 5 or
So
6.
she literally 3 hours just sat in her car seat. We were stuck in an hour and a half. It was really awful. So I had that awful experience of driving in Boston. And then every time since, I put the GPS on, trusting the GPS is going to lead me around the city. And every single time, I'm lost.
User error.
I get lost. No, because it tells you like for instance, the first mistake was in the tunnels. It said exit 18, but the exit 18 was down over here in a corner in the GPS, and Starro Drive is exit 18. Starro Drive. And it was telling me to take a connector.
The numbers have changed.
And this connector name was nowhere. So I said to our daughter, I think I need to go this way. And she said, no, it doesn't look like you have to.
Michael Scott.
No, it doesn't look like you have to go that way.
She was Dwight and you were Michael Scott.
No, just the opposite. If I had followed my instinct both times, and she's like, don't try pinning this on me. You're the driver and you're looking at it. I was like, she's right. But
That's
I
true.
listened to her both times.
That's
and
weird.
both times because I was like, it looks like it's telling me to go this way, but this. And she was like, no, it's telling you this way. And I like listened to her instead of following so twice we had to be rerouted, had to do U-turns, and then you had to park in the parking garage.
That's why I don't let you drive when we go to cities.
Awful. I said, I really should have had your father take you to this appointment. But it was a great appointment. And
True.
Her possibility of scoliosis 2 years ago, her growth spurt corrected the scoliosis. So the doctor was like, because he's a really great doctor. And she's like,
best.
He's my favorite doctor of any doctors I've ever had to see. I'm like, I agree. He's like the nicest guy. We actually have seen him like 3 or 4 times. Yeah. So, but anyways, he's really, really nice. And he goes, you need to celebrate. He goes, many times a patient comes in and it's been a gap and they've had a growth spurt, and the growth spurt just throws them in the wrong direction for the scoliosis, and then they have to get a brace, and it's just, he goes, and you had the opposite happen, and your back looks perfect. God. So I was like, yeah. He goes, go get some ice cream. So I said, no, I don't think we're getting any ice cream, but Chick-fil-A was definitely on the menu.
Again, Chick-fil-A, if you want to be a sponsor of Raising 8.
Chick-fil-A, we would love to have you as a sponsor. Quite frankly, we would love to eat your food every week, but we don't. It costs us a fortune.
It's funny because like you're always bad experience of going to Boston. Like the other day, I had to go to the cathedral and I drove in. I mean, it was a lot of traffic. It's a pain in the rear end, but I parked and I had a nice walk to the cathedral.
Aww.
It was a beautiful
That's
day.
That's so sweet.
It's wonderful. I had a nice walk back to my car.
And you're wearing your Red Sox. So
I am today.
Like
well,
Fenway.
They've been winning a lot, and I'm getting close to playoff time.
I think you're going to have to get a new shirt, though, apparently, from the part of the game I saw last night. They wear yellow now.
It's something.
I
think at the reasoning, there's something behind it. I don't care. They keep winning with the yellow on.
I don't
So
know. I was
keep
confused.
wearing
I'm like,
them.
who am I watching? I didn't even know who I was watching.
Who cares? And how about those Patriots?
How about them? I have no idea.
They won.
Well, their defense scored me 19 points.
Yeah, they did well for you.
I crushed Perez.
I am now
I couldn't believe
alone
it.
in first place for the first time, I believe, ever in this league.
I'm really rooting for you.
No, you're not.
Because of Timothy, really. I'm rooting for Timothy. Not you particularly, but he's on your team. And he keeps saying, Daddy,
he asks questions
when are we going to win? He asks, when are we going to win?
Story of my life.
I said, well, honey, I hope you win soon, but you're on Daddy's team. So he's like, can I be on your team? I said, no.
I'm undefeated in both my fantasy football leagues. Nobody cares about this.
It's really only been like 2 weeks.
It's only 2 weeks. Still early.
So I think it's really early for you to talk about undefeated.
Well, it's not too early. I am undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What else? I feel like there's more.
Oh,
you went away this past
I went
weekend?
away with my sisters-in-law for a nice New Hampshire trip.
I have the biggest thing of all. Finish that for us.
Oh, yeah. No. Yeah. We just had fun. We'd go antiquing. It's a really nice, relaxing weekend.
I had a nice
with
weekend
my
with the kiddos.
mother-in-law and sisters-in-law. It was really good.
I had a nice weekend. The kids were great.
You had a great weekend.
Things got done. Things that are going to have to be
came back to a house being a mess. But.
Things that are going to have to be taken apart.
Mm-hmm.
the house wasn't that bad, quite frankly.
It was pretty much a mess, and the laundry room
Well,
was
it's 'cause-
literally full. I couldn't even do
Yeah,
our
that
laundry
was- that
today.
was-
I
yeah.
did, but I still have to switch it.
I
but
can't do it all.
It's
I-
a disaster.
I did my best this weekend. I
You
had to
did-
build. I had to build
Everybody
things.
was alive
I had to-
and fed, so
Nobody
that's
got
really
lost.
all I.
Yeah, they
was
all
looking
ate
for.
well.
I would have liked chores to be done and not come into a disaster, but
They were
you can't-
done. Chores were done.
No.
Just not the laundry.
Okay.
Basics were done.
So what were you going to say?
I mean, the best thing that happened to me was last Friday in a while. I went to CVS.
oh yeah, that's right. You went to CVS. Good for you. You know, CVS is such a nice place. I'm so glad you got to go.
Yep, I got the antibody test,
That's right.
and as
big day.
as I could have predicted, I have tons of antibodies. I'm an antibody producing machine.
Yep, that's you. Antibody.
But literally, I had my long-term antibodies already there, and I was still producing them.
and your short term.
We're still going. Yeah, so that's what it is. The short term is you're producing the long term.
Yep.
Excellent news.
It was great news.
Yes, which means we all have antibodies.
Which means I have them too, and I don't need to get
You
my
don't
finger
go
pricked.
and spend $38.
What's a finger
It was the
prick?
best
I
30.
want one.
that was fun. It's the best $38 I've ever spent in my life.
Yep. Great news, babe. Yep. So, do you have anything else?
No.
Okay. Well, welcome to another episode of Raising Eight.
A couple of sinners trying to raise saints, and today, or this morning, or tomorrow morning, or the next day, or whenever you're listening to this.
It's nighttime. But
By the way, happy fall.
today is the first day of fall.
Yeah, again, we're recording on a Wednesday, which I'm just wondering now if we just keep doing
No,
at this
it's
point.
terrible.
It's
I
terrible.
actually, it's like this
I know,
pressure
I
that
wanted
comes
to-
upon
I
us
wanted
on
to just
Wednesdays.
sit down
I
and
wasn't
relax
here
tonight.
this weekend.
Okay, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
But happy fall.
It's fall. I roasted pumpkins. That's what I was going to say. Actually, we're still on banter, but my sister-in-law, when we were up north this weekend, she talked about roasting stuffed pumpkins.
I didn't have any.
And quite frankly, the majority of the people in the house did not like it, but it was a very fun experience for me.
Predictable.
I liked it. I think
It seems like it would be a fun thing to do, right?
You know, I think she did tell me that salt and pepper were spices that were supposed to be put in there, and I didn't put salt and pepper,
that's a
so it was
problem.
bland. You could barely taste. I would definitely put more spices next time, and I don't remember the measurements of the spices because I don't really measure things anyway. So I just went with like a teaspoon
Dodged a
and
bullet.
a
I
teaspoon.
dodged a bullet tonight.
No, it was actually once you sprinkled salt and pepper on it, it was pretty good. Some of the kids liked it. And John Paul said, it's not gross, it's just bland. I said, well, that's because I didn't put salt and pepper. I think I forgot that.
I enjoyed driving down our street and seeing the mums,
Yes.
pumpkins in the front island.
I stopped at a Rougeau's down the road first when I was driving Mariana, and we bought the two sugar pumpkins that I could bake. And then it was like raining and she had to get to practice. So I was like, you know what? We're not going to do mums and all that now. But let's buy. She's like, what about these tiny little pumpkins? They had all these adorable little like decorative pumpkins. She goes, maybe can we get one for everybody? And she picked out all these little pumpkins. And so we did all that. And then I had to take the other kids. I took a few to BJ's because we're out of toilet paper. I had no idea.
Shocking.
Right? I mean, how does that happen?
I did think about that last week at some point.
Yeah,
but
we were out of toilet paper. And
you bought 2 packages.
I did buy 2 packages. We had 2 carts going.
Because we're going to need it for the final bath.
No, we're not going to be using the bathroom.
The toilet's
forever.
working.
The toilet does work, and so far we haven't seen any
That'll
fallout
happen.
from
The whole
that. But
house
I'm
is
sure
gonna fall
that'll
down
happen
at some point.
So
Sorry to go back to that.
no, don't go back to it. It's too depressing. So anyway, at BJ's they had these beautiful mums, and I looked and I said to the girls, "Let's get a couple of
Like a good
mums."
BJ's mum.
They were really. You saw how big they were. And beautiful. And so I bought 2, and I was going to put one near the
really
house.
nice.
But then when I put one up there, I needed to balance it off with the other one. Don't you think the 2
I look
need
good.
to be balanced
But I do think we
out?
need more mums
No, we
up
need
towards
more.
the house.
We
yeah.
need more.
But
But
no,
that was
it's
a
very nice.
start
You
to
did a
the
nice
fall
job.
decoration.
Nice job. No, it looks good. That's not our topic tonight, though.
Nope. Fall
So-
decorations is not our topic.
Last week, and some people probably saw this, especially if you follow me on Facebook. I didn't post it to Raising 8, but I will after this. There was a nice little article. So apparently there was some news. I think I missed this at some point, the whole Prince Harry and Duchess
Harry. Prince
Meghan.
Harry.
Why do they still have their titles if they're like removed from the royal family now?
I don't know. I don't know anything about the royal family.
I mean, I do feel bad for them because they're like removed now,
Why are they removed?
but they're still getting like millions of dollars.
Why? What happened? I don't even know why. Why are they
Because
removed?
they shunned the family.
Oh, really? I didn't even know that. I don't follow.
I
don't follow royal news.
The whole
I don't
royal
follow
thing.
any news, but especially not royal.
There's some
news.
people who have very strong opinions on this, obviously, and I'm semi-indifferent to it. I kind of find it odd that a family has $bazillion because they have the right blood. Like it's a
Agreed.
little. Find
it
it
is a little
in
bit strange
2021
in the world we're living in.
I know some people love the idea of monarchy and they tie it to the Christian faith and blah blah blah, but they got me thinking, like, how many great monarchs were there in history? Like
I have no idea.
I don't either. I'm sure there were a bunch, and we have some saints who were kings and
Yeah.
queens.
Queen Elizabeth,
not-
Saint Elizabeth, right? Not this Elizabeth. There was an Elizabeth of Hungary. She was a
Yes,
queen, I
and
believe.
I'm trying to think. I'm
There
drawing
was a
like
princess.
Bridget.
Is it Bridget?
Yep.
So there have been
there's some.
royalty.
But okay, but I don't think like of all the kings and queens in history, like, and there's been a lot. How many were like good, solid Christian monarchs?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe somebody has done a
But
study
I don't
on
care.
that.
In the year 2021, the idea that you just get to be rich off the people's backs because you have the right last name
Yeah, it's a little strange.
seems strange to me. This is gonna trigger some people.
That's fine. Trigger away.
I don't want to talk more about that. But anyways, I came across this. Some people were pushing out this really good editorial, like an opinion piece in the USA Today. Normally, the USA Today, I find it to be rubbish most of the time. But this was pretty good, and it was a let's see. The author's name is Teresa. I'm sorry, Teresa. I'm going to butcher your last name. Olohan.
It could be Alohan. Yeah. Olohan.
So sorry, Teresa. If you're never gonna hear this, and she's a guest editor. She works for the USA Today, and she does this thing. And the title of it is, this is in our Voices section. My parents have 11 children. Here's why I'm grateful to be part of a big family. Have we talked about large families? I mean, we've talked about our family.
At some point, but
Okay, well, who
maybe
cares?
it doesn't matter.
This is an article, and I like some of the subject headers, so I figured we'd talk about it a little bit. And I'll start by reading the opening paragraph, and then we're just going to talk about kind of her. She has like 3 or 4 different sections. So she, after the title, she says, "We should appreciate the beauty that big families offer, and their role in forming model citizens who will positively contribute to society." Now, I do want to say, I think small families can also do that.
Well, obviously, that's not.
I found that second part to be a little
Yeah.
weird. Like, okay, well,
Yeah, every
can't
family.
every
You have
family
one
do that?
child, you can do that.
So
They're going to
even
contribute.
those of you
That's-
who do not have 300 children,
Like
we're
us.
confident you can do that.
we
Okay.
know you can do that. We
Amen.
know. We see it.
All right, so here's just the opening few paragraphs.
Oh no, it's not the company. I'm just wiped out, exhausted. Go ahead, keep reading.
I'm tired too.
I can't help it. When I have to yawn, I have to
I know
yawn.
you and I have different. I have some kind of control of my yawns.
No, I just yawn when
You
I have
just
to
yawn away. Mm-hmm. No, I'm just like I'm not even motivated anymore.
Really? Just like that?
All
I yawn
right.
and you're not
It's
motivated?
depressing.
Oh my gosh. Go ahead, read it. Read
You
it.
just sucked the life out of me right there. You're like a plumber.
Oh, stop it.
Over the years, people have often expressed shock when my parents reveal they have 11 children.
Why are you reading it in that voice?
I'm trying to add some
Drama to
drama
it?
to it, sure.
Okay.
Some asked my parents how many they wanted. Oh, wait, sorry, I didn't read that
Oh my
right.
gosh. Do you want me to read
Some,
it?
No, some asked
I don't
my
have
parents
glasses. I
how
have
many
20/20
they
vision.
wanted. I just thought it was going somewhere else. And I hadn't finished reading the sentence. I am always proud of my mom's beautiful, humble response. As many as God gives me.
It's beautiful.
These are beautiful. Right? The idea, right? And when you do the sacrament of matrimony, holy matrimony, that's part of the things to be open to life, right? Mm-hmm. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful witness. Anyways, so Prince Harry.
Why do you keep calling him Harry?
How would you say it?
It's Harry.
Harry, sorry.
It's just Harry. He's
I'm
not
saying
Harry.
He's Harry. Well, how do you know he's not?
Maybe he's Harry.
He's probably Harry.
But you keep calling him Harry.
I know. I was just kind of joking around, but Harry
His name is
and
Harry.
Duchess Meghan. I mean, come on. How did that happen? But anyways, that's a whole story.
Just go ahead.
Received an environmental award this summer for their quote-unquote enlightened decision to have no more than 2 children. A decision that supposedly reduces, quote-unquote, their impact on the earth.
I want to throw up already.
It's probably good for the world that they're only having 2 children.
That's terrible.
Is that
to
harsh?
say. It's very harsh. You don't know them. You know what tabloids say about them. You don't know those two people.
No, I watched part of their interview with Oprah.
Okay. When they got awarded? Did
Yeah, that
Oprah
wasn't it,
award
but-
them?
Okay. The award is ironic considering they live in an, ready for this?
Yes.
18,671 square foot mansion. But their carbon footprint
I thought you
is
said
small.
they were cut off from the royal family.
No, they got the money.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, must be nice.
18,000 square feet.
Almost 19,000 square feet. And we're giving them environmental awards? They have 2 kids. I mean, even if they lived in a 9,000 square foot house, think about how big that house is.
It's a mansion.
It's 4 people. I mean, of course, they probably need their maids and stuff.
Oh, right. There's probably like 20
but
people
come
living in that
on.
house.
Probably not, actually. Ready for this? And use private jets for travel.
no, that's good for the environment.
And listen, I want to say this. If I have the money, I'm flying private. Who wants to bother?
Obviously, if we had a private jet, we'd use
I
it.
can't hold that against them.
But you can't give them an
But
environmental award.
I wouldn't want the environmental award. How could you?
Right.
If you
No,
have,
thank you. I have a private jet and a really, really, really big house. Like, I'm ruining the environment, so I'm going to have to respectfully decline this environment. Thank you so much for thinking of me.
I'd be like, do you know how much carbon I produced with my last trip? In fact, just coming here to the, you know what? I'm sorry.
I can't accept
I've
this.
destroyed the earth today. Just coming here for this. And of course, those award ceremonies, and who knows if there was, but we know that the Emmys just happened the other day. How much carbon are they producing?
How many people flew there in their private jets?
Of course, and their limos, and
just-
the hypocrisy
It's
on
just
this
hypocrisy
is
over and over and
insane.
over and over.
But we're going to reward them because they're only having
Yeah,
2
you
children.
chose-
God
you
bless
cho-
you.
good
And by
for
the
you.
way, we've talked about this in the past on this. I don't judge people on this one. There's some
Right.
there are some Christians
if
who
you
love to
prayed
judge.
and you discerned that that is what God is calling
Or
you
who
to,
knows? Who knows what's going
That's your
on?
business. That's
But
none of our business.
I'm-
But
listen, it would have
we're not going to give you an environmental award.
It would have hurt their bottom line if they had more kids. There's no question about it. That would have been tough for them to afford.
I don't think they can.
But I don't do
they
that.
might have to add an addition onto the
I
19,000
don't
square feet.
I don't play that game. I refuse to.
No,
I've
we
never
do
liked
not
that
play
game.
that game.
So
we're not judging you if you have
I'm
one
judging
child.
on the environmental
We know
award.
we get judged for having 8, but we refuse to judge people for the number of children that
we're-
God
I'm
has
sure
called
people,
them to have.
So we have 8 kids, or if somebody has 11 kids, and obviously we're bad people. Somehow we're destroying the earth.
Right, that's what
because
basically
we produced
this
human
award is basically saying.
beings.
Right, who take care
Well,
of
we're
the
gonna
earth.
get there. Yeah, we're
okay.
gonna- yeah, we're gonna get there. All right.
I haven't read this article.
this is just the opening.
FYI.
I might read a little more of it because this is a very, this is an excellent essay.
Well done essay.
It's very well done. So she continues, as the relatable host, I think it's a podcast, Allie Beth Stuckey. I follow her on Twitter. She's a devout Christian. Sometimes, obviously, her theology is off because she's not Catholic, but she seems pretty solid overall. Anyways, point out on her podcast, in spite of their family size, the couple's carbon footprint is still likely higher than the average big family living in the Midwest.
No kidding. You think? You think?
It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that one out.
Right.
18,600. I just can't stop looking at that and thinking, what?
What would you do with all that
Oh,
space?
Lord of mercy. Well, listen, again, if I had the private jet and the 19,000 square foot house, I'd figure it out.
Yeah.
I'd figure it out. Mm-hmm. That seems a lot, though. We're having
It's
problems
excessive.
in our
It's
house with a bathroom.
obviously excessive.
Can you imagine how many bathrooms they have?
I don't want to think about that.
Can you imagine how many problems they have with that?
Well, they probably,
probably
they
don't
pay
deal
the
with it.
best of the best.
They probably don't deal with it.
Yeah.
Harry and Meghan's decisions regarding their family are their own matter, which we, of course, agreed. But rewarding them for limiting the number of their children is condescending and
Yeah.
insulting to families like mine, which was the point
Yeah,
of
exactly.
the award. I mean,
Exactly.
that's exactly what they're doing. And they're not
Good
just going after families
job.
with 8. They're going after families with 4.
Right. And three. Because
It's only
you're
2.
only limiting your carbon footprint if you have 2 kids.
'Cause these
and they better be a boy and a girl.
Because these
so you
royal
can be done.
family members are what we should emulate.
Yeah,
Look at
oh
them.
my gosh, I can't.
Again, I don't know who they are. I don't know them.
They might be
I'm
nice
sure they're
people.
the best people.
They
I'm
might
sure
be
they
nice
are.
people.
I'm sure they
Well,
are.
we don't know. We don't know them.
I'll take a guess on that.
Well, you shouldn't judge.
Oh, I'm getting upset about this now. Okay, let's move on to the good
getting
stuff. Good
upset.
stuff.
Go ahead.
It not only applies that big families and their children are a net negative to society, it also negates the beauty that children and big families have to offer.
Right.
And the role that they play in forming model citizens who will positively contribute to society. There's been a trend, actually. I've seen this on Twitter a bunch of times in the last few months of people talking about what we actually do need for true societal change for the positive is more children, bigger families. There's no number that people are placing on that, but the idea of that's what transforms societies, an openness to life and solid families because typically solid families contribute to society in a positive manner. There's no way around that.
Right. Generosity and service, serving others, serving communities. I mean, that's what so many things have been built on, hospitals and outreach and everything else.
All right.
It's generosity.
So this is the first kind of like positive things about big families. Big families teach responsibility. I'll just read the opening paragraph.
That
to
is
this.
true.
Big families are a lot of work.
Yes, they are.
Huh?
Yes,
Each child comes with a host of medical, educational, and other bills. When my parents were expecting me, their fourth child, my dad quit his job and took a leap of faith to enroll in law school. He and my mom were frugal and raised my siblings and me to act similarly. Similarly. I've always struggled with that word.
Similarly.
I know, but I don't know why. It's one of those words that it happens.
Yeah, it's tough.
To
Some
keep
words are big.
It's not that it's big. I have a pretty good
Some
vocabulary.
words are hard.
There's something about my tongue that doesn't do it. Yeah. To keep our growing family afloat.
There's a word when I pray at church. There's one word. I don't know if it's
Amen.
at the end of the hour, Father, that I can't.
And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil?
No, maybe it's not that part. I can't remember if it's the Our Father. Something. Maybe it's the Creed. There's something. It might be the Creed. I can't remember. But there's something. No, there's some phrase that if I don't slow down to do it, my tongue won't do it. I don't know why.
Sometimes it's just where it is.
It's just weird. It's just the way that I don't know why I can't do it. Anyway, okay, go ahead.
Anyway,
I had to stop you because my dad said to me, but I don't think you heard him. But my dad said on the phone tonight because I said I gotta go record a podcast because it has to drop tomorrow. And my parents have been listening to our podcast. Shout out to my parents. Thanks for listening. And my dad said, "Hey, tell Michael to let you." Tell Michael to let you talk. He talks way more than you do. And my mom said, "No, he doesn't.
First of all, it's not true.
He doesn't talk way more than
only your parents would do that.
No, they were arguing about it. My mom said, "No, he doesn't. He doesn't. Yeah, he does. He doesn't let her talk much."
Last week, you talked the most. It was your topic.
Maybe it's just what he like. Sometimes when he listens,
you know what, Dad? Don't listen if you don't like it. How do you like them apples?
Don't you dare talk to my father that way.
Oh, I am, by the way.
How dare you?
He's going to levy an accusation.
Why bring up apples? Don't bring up apples. It's a sensitive topic.
Oh, that's the other thing. Everybody's picking apples right now. Like, again, this is my pet peeve.
You
know that.
Don't go down the apple picking road.
I'm going to pay you so I can do your job. It's just insane.
I want to pick apples. I like going picking apples.
It's just like my plumber.
It's an experience. Stop bringing up the plumber.
Anyways, my mom devoted her time to homeschooling my siblings and me while caring for all the babies that came along the way. She was an exacting teacher, ensuring that we received blah, blah, blah. So it sounds like she was a great mom. So the idea, again, big families teach responsibility. And we've talked about this just in our own experience. Of course. Can't just let things run amok. And so as the kids begin to get older, who was I just talking to today? I was talking to a new employee at the Pastoral Center. And he's expecting his third. And I said, "Oh, you're about to be outnumbered." He goes, "Yeah, we're going to the zone defense." I was like, "That's my line."
It's not. I mean, other people do.
I know, but it was great to hear.
Right? Wasn't that fun?
It was
great.
So I smiled. I was like, "I say it all the time." And I said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, good luck. Because now the good news is, from this point on, if you have more children, you're outnumbered from this point on." And I said, "But eventually, they all start doing chores."
It's true.
And he laughed. Anyways, he was brand new, young guy. But right, I mean, because you can't function in a house of. I mean, again, this is probably for every family, but let's be honest, once you start having...
When you get 3, 4, or 5, I mean...
that many people in a house... You've got to start figuring that everybody has to start doing something.
Pitching in, and there's responsibility that has to happen. Yeah. Unless you want to live in trash and chaos, which some people do choose to do, and that's up to them.
This was... This was a good one. My parents' selfless efforts taught me oh my words, I'm starting to lose it.
Let me read it.
No, I will let you read the next section.
Okay.
Taught my siblings and me to be grateful for what was given and to be humble and deal with it when things didn't go our way. This is the money line. I'll never forget the shock I experienced when a friend slept over and demanded my mom make her pancakes for breakfast.
What?
Despite the food that had already been laid out for us. Okay, listen. I'm guessing that what she's implying is this kid was an only child, or
Maybe.
2 kids. I'm not gonna, but there's an implication being there that
I think that's just a parenting thing where you
That's
just say
that
yes
was
to your
my
child.
reaction to it.
Where you say yes to your child, whatever they demand of you. I want this. Okay, honey, I want this. Okay, honey, I want this. Okay. I mean, there are people who parent that way. I can't fathom it. My brain can't go there because it does create a spoiled child, and I don't think parents mean to create a spoiled child. They think they're doing right by their child by giving them everything that they want, even down to what do you want to have to eat tonight kind of thing. It's like, no, this is what I'm making. Like tonight, the stuffed pumpkin didn't go well. And I said, this is what's for supper. You have to eat some. You're going immediately to bed because they've had a lot of late nights lately. I've been working all
punish
week.
them for eating
and
your
I
meal.
said, you've got to eat X amount of bites, but if you're hungry, too bad because there's no snack. That's what you're eating. End of story. And you know what? They did. They actually ate it. It wasn't poison, so they did just fine. Wasn't their favorite, but it's a hard lesson.
Yeah, I think you're
very
right.
important.
I think that's what she was trying. I think that's what she's speaking to there. It's not very specific, but the idea that somebody could come. I mean, the idea that somebody can come into
a home and demand, but it's a kid, and so they don't know any different. If that's
No,
the
that's
way
true.
that's the way they've been living.
Anyway, she talks about the idea that everybody pitches in, sacrifice, that kind of stuff. Absolutely, because you have to.
You have
when
to.
you have that many people in a house, you gotta pitch in and you gotta sacrifice.
Where are you asking me to read?
Well, this is the next topic.
Oh, yeah. So her next topic, again, I haven't read any of this yet.
Because I want to make sure that you speak more.
I do appreciate that, Dad. See how he's
So
letting
that-
me read? Dad, he's letting me read.
I mean,
Isn't he
maybe
a nice
if
husband?
you just did a podcast by yourself,
Isn't
your dad
he
would be
a nice
happy.
He's a nice pumpkin.
ridiculous.
Isn't he a nice pumpkin?
Wait, who's the pumpkin? Me? I've been.
I was
I'm not a
trying to
pumpkin
say
anymore.
husband, but I
I've
have pumpkin on the brain now. The
I've been working
stupid
out
stuffed
again.
pumpkins I made, which looked so pretty in my oven.
We're gonna lose it tonight.
I'm gonna
All right,
lose it.
Pull it together, Levine.
Okay. Looking out for each other. So big families are like model societies inside the home. She says, despite the fact that my siblings and I look the same, quote unquote, because in a big family, a lot of times people will say that. I think our children do look very distinct from each other, but when you see a big group, a lot of times like everybody looks the same. Each of us has a unique personality, talents, and weaknesses. So maintaining a peaceful home with so many diverse people requires that siblings build strong relationships with each other. And we just literally talked about this last night in World War III that happened at our house.
Well, we also talked about this last week.
Big fight and with sibling rivalries and that kind of stuff like blew up last night. I literally walked in from
It was funny,
a
that
long,
was.
long day, exhausted, had a late
can we not
parent
revisit
night
that?
meeting, and came into World War III. So, but there
It had to do with this.
It had to do with this. That you know what we are learning. We're helping you learn how to have relationships with people of all differing personalities in this home that you might not get along with every sibling, but we're helping you do that. And if you want more on that, you can listen to last week's episode. Go ahead. What are you going to say on that?
Oh no, sorry. I thought, and I think that obviously, I think she makes a point in this pot, or later on. But the idea is when they practice that in the home, obviously that's going to play out in the future. So the idea of having experience with multiple temperaments, living with lots of people will only pay off when they start working, playing sports.
And we've always told our kids that.
I'm probably being overly apologetic here because the topic tonight
What are
is
you
large
apologizing
families.
for?
But the idea, of course, it can happen in smaller families too.
Yes, no, I do
But
think
I think what
it's
she's
important.
emphasizing is in a large
This is
family,
not.
you have no choice.
There's no choice. The reality is, unless you want
don't do it,
literally a war
it's
all
a
the
mess.
time happening,
Yeah.
there's reconciliation that has to happen on a regular basis. And that is in every family, even if you have two kids.
No, but I think in a smaller family, there's more of a chance to hide. You know what I'm saying? Like to hide it a little bit. Do you know
I
what I'm
don't
saying?
think
Like,
so.
well, because you can't hide in a big family. That's my point I'm making. You can't hide it. It impacts everybody immediately. If there's only 4 people in the house versus 10, there is a difference in numbers of human beings in the house.
Oh,
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm not,
I know. But
of course you need to do that in a small family if you want to have a healthy family.
Right, of course. But so she makes a point about humility and humbling yourself in disputes and working through
Happens a
disputes.
lot.
And I think that's really just such an important, that's just something that we have to learn. And this is what we were going through last night. Like, you have to learn how to work through disagreements and disputes.
Yeah.
And I don't know that necessarily I know you're saying like the big family, there's a lot. I think the dynamic is that there are more disputes that happen because there are more temperaments and more personalities involved. So there's more chance of a blowout happening or somebody rubbing someone the wrong way or someone. So there's more chance of it.
That's what I meant by not
That's
escaping
what you mean
it.
about
Yeah.
not escaping
Yeah.
it. Like you just, it's going to happen because there are lots of different personalities involved, and some kids are going to be the nice kind of quiet ones and just kind of sail along and never dispute with anyone, and then you get the ones that are fiery and constantly causing issues or whatever. So her next point, because I'm going to keep on going to make my dad happy, her next point is presence.
It's ridiculous.
With a C-E over presence with a T-S. And what?
Yeah, I'm just
C-E, presence, like
I got
being
you.
present. Well, now I use the word present, so... So now I use the same word that she's trying to do. Having lots of siblings means there's always someone to celebrate your joys and to comfort you in hard times.
We talked about that last week.
We talked about that last week. When my grandmother passed away shortly before Christmas last year, all 13 of my family members gathered around the fireplace to pray for her together. And the rest of the world was shuttered and cold due to COVID-19 pandemic. My parents welcomed every one of their 11 children home to quarantine, the first time we had all been together for an extended period since my oldest brother went to college. So she said, nearly bursting at the seams with 13 people sheltered inside, my home saw Zoom masses, family dinners, and movie nights. A moment in history that should have been scary and depressing has become one of my favorite memories. And how beautiful that their family just was able to...
Yeah, we know of people who were basically alone in those early days. And
I think I'm at the end.
And that's kind of sad, right? I don't think you are, but get back to me. You know what you're doing. Oh, my God, Lauren.
I might have just got rid of it. Sorry.
I got it.
That was the last point I think she made. I scrolled down. I didn't see anything else. Yeah, you can read the closing. But.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the blessings. We're plenty of us. We have plenty to do. Keep us busy. I mean, we've talked about this in the past in some ways, other than like the change in work schedules and obviously church being closed. Don't get me going on that again.
Yeah.
But our lives, in a way, were very similar, other than we got to get more projects done, if you will.
Yeah, no, I think...
but it's tough if you're alone. It's, again, if you have 2 or 3 kids, you obviously weren't alone. And God bless you guys. I mean, but there are people who were alone.
I think the biggest thing here...
The idea they had a place to go to...
You keep comparing to a smaller family, but I don't think that's... The point is that a royal couple... No, I'm just trying to make this point. That a royal couple...
I got to talk more.
No.
I haven't talked enough today. I need to talk more so that I can be accused of something.
Couple has been awarded an environmental award for deciding to keep their family small. Like that is some kind of thing.
It was a shot against
people who decide to have more than 2 kids.
As if it's not a good thing.
As if we're ruining the world. And I think that's the point she's trying to make here is actually big families are a blessing in so many ways. And yes, that is 100% true. Most people you talk to, if they've had a good upbringing with a good mom and dad, obviously it wasn't like an abusive home or something horrible like that, who have come from a big family, have shared beautiful things about their experience with their big family. And a lot, it's just positive. Yes, you're going to find families who had a horrible time, but you're going to have families with 1 and 2 kids that had a horrible experience too. So that's not anything different. But my point is that awarding a family for choosing to quote unquote save the world by limiting their family.
Prince Harry
stupid.
And Duchess
Meghan
is
what it is. It's
are
just
saving the world.
It's stupid.
It is stupid.
It's absolutely stupid.
And if you disagree with that,
you're stupid. No, that's terrible. You can disagree if you want.
There.
We love you anyway, but it's just stupid. It is what it is. There's nothing anyone could ever say to me to make me believe that is a good thing, that's truly a good that this family was awarded for something like
How are you like
environmental.
What was the
saving
conversation with that award committee?
I don't.
I mean, what is that conversation like?
I don't-
Obviously,
I
they
don't
just want to
know.
give an award to the cool people.
I guess.
But like, was there any scrutiny whatsoever about their carbon footprint? Like, oh, they're only going to have 2 kids. We hate kids, therefore they should get this environmental. I mean, it's so sad,
It's very sad.
and obviously, it's a very dangerous philosophy
Yes.
for the world. This,
So
actually,
anyway,
this actually
go
closes.
ahead, close it
This
up.
time together reinforced the truth to me that all the money and recognition in the world can't replace the human connection and love that I find in my siblings and parents, which is the trademark of big families. We'd like to think most
All
big families.
hopefully.
Hopefully all families, agreed. It's easy to be unaware or take for granted all the manifestations of a parent's sacrificial love as a kid. Today, I am grateful for my parents' tireless dedication to the spiritual, academic, and personal development of each of my siblings. I am even more grateful for the greatest gift they could have given us, each other. You can follow Teresa on Twitter at Olohan.
Spell it.
OLOHAN _ Teresa, THERESA. She's a graduate of Notre Dame. So it's one of those things where I just thought it was just a nice testimony. We could obviously I related to that immediately about our family. And I think it's funny. I also thought about, like, I have a brother and a sister, so we have you can't argue, it's a small family. And I think, thanks mom and dad for everything. But I do think, like, if there were more kids and again, that's not judging my parents, but like I can see how that would have helped me in some ways to be less focused on myself, less selfish. And my parents did instill that in us, and we were very active in the community and stuff. But obviously, if there were more people in the house, I'm certain that would have helped, especially being one of the older kids at that time. So, anyways,
Yeah.
I don't know. But we're blessed.
No. Yep. Agreed. And
And those of you who don't have large families are not. Wait, no.
you are the
I'm
worst.
joking. You call them stupid.
No, I didn't.
Oh, the people who...
I said if you don't agree that it's stupid that's
Stupid.
that's stupid that the royal couple got an
Yeah.
award, an environmental award for limiting their family size. That's what I was saying.
I'm guessing
that
it
you're
pushes the
stupid.
needle, though, right? They know that there are people who are enamored with them, and I just...
Let's
I
encourage
don't
everyone
get it.
to save the universe. But if you're going to save the universe, you have to have a really big house,
And not a lot of
some
kids.
private jets, and not a lot of kids.
Why do you...
That'll save
What
the
do you
world.
do with all that space?
Save the world.
What do they do? I mean, for the kids,
I honestly
God bless
don't
them
know.
when they get old enough. Great hide and seek.
But how do you keep track of your 2 children in a house
They
that size?
You could lose them in that house, and they would die. You never find them again
I mean,
until the smell.
that is that like the size of Downton Abbey? Do you think?
Yeah,
how
yeah,
big
I'm
do you
sure.
think Downton
yeah,
Abbey
I
is?
bet you it's like 10 to 20,000. Yeah, square feet.
Think so.
I bet you can look it up. Actually, that house.
Yeah, because that house is massive.
I mean, it's a massive house. 18. I
Massive.
just don't get why.
Why does anybody need a house that
And then
size?
how does it get you? The whole thing. That's
just-
probably the
it's
problem I
so
was most disturbed
weird.
about. I hadn't seen that they got that award. I don't run in those circles, so
You don't run in the
like when I'm following the
royalty?
What do they get
You don't wanna-
next?
you don't run in the
they get another
royal
award?
circles?
Oh, look, Al Gore got another environmental award. He's made
Award?
award. He's made $1 billion off of the climate change movement. But he lives also in like a 10,000 plus square foot thing. He does private jets. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, well,
I get caring for the environment. I don't get that
We live
hero
in a
worship.
world of hypocrisy,
fake.
and you do know that. I mean, that's just
No.
the reality.
What?
It's just we live in
That
this
would be
kind of
Debbie
world.
Dinos. I think in the end is, listen, folks, if, as Lori said earlier, you pray, if you're just starting out your family, be open to God's plan for you. We didn't, we knew we wanted a larger family. The number 8 wasn't on our minds.
No.
It's where God led us. It's an awesome thing. I couldn't envision it any other way.
But as I was saying to someone the other day, when you do trust in God and you're open to life, meaning not contracepting. We do use natural family planning, so there's nothing wrong with cooperating with the body God gave you
Right.
and making choices based on that. And have we done a natural family planning?
We did.
We did do one?
Not friendly pigeons.
Oh, that's right. We did do an NFP. So if you are curious about NFP, go check out our podcast on NFP from last year at some point. I don't know when. But anyway.
July.
Do you know that, really?
July 2020.
Oh, because of NFP
week.
Oh, that's right. You're so smart.
Mm-hmm.
But we've always been blessed. Like, yes, it was hard many times to say, oh my gosh, okay, another child is coming. We're just in this really tough spot or stressed out, and there's a lot going on, but we're open to life. And when another child comes, the Lord always has showered us with blessings, like monetarily, just providing for us, and things would come up and giving us the grace to do what needs to be done, and just really giving us these amazing people around us, obviously family and great friends. And he just really does bless us when we surrender that to him.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean, like I said, doesn't mean I have to have 100 kids. It just means taking every moment to say to the Lord, what are you asking of us? What are you asking of us? And trying to go along with what he's asking. And not every family is being asked to have 8 or
Correct.
10 or 12 or 13 kids.
Correct. Some people
you
can't.
might be asked, and you might be asked to have a smaller family, like 2, 3 kids, whatever. That might be, but if we're truly taking it to the Lord and we're not controlling it all ourselves with contraceptives and, whatever, sterilizations and things of that matter.
I think also don't fall for the secular trap that you can only be happy or be good stewards of the earth if you have only 2 kids. That's the only way you can do it. Like, if I don't know, all the families I know who have large families are happy families.
Yeah.
And are very great stewards of what God gives them. Mm-hmm. And I think don't fall into that trap, especially if you're younger, you're starting out, maybe you had a few kids. It is a lie.
It's just a flat out lie.
And so maybe that's what's holding you back. And so I would challenge you to think that out a little bit and don't fall for it, because quite frankly, that's a lie of the evil one, right? He doesn't want good, happy, large families. Again, you may not be called to that, but maybe you are being called to that, but you've fallen for that lie. Mm-hmm. Just think about it a little more. It's just simply not true. It's a lie.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
No,
that lie is true.
But
it's true. You're right.
Awkward.
So anyway, thank you for joining us for another episode of Raising 8. Why are you looking at me like that?
Because I knew you were going, boom, right there.
Well, where do you want to go? Do you want to talk more?
You want to go sit down.
47 minutes.
No.
They don't want to listen to us anymore.
Some people do.
It's 47 minutes. How many minutes do you want them to stay here?
I'm listening to a lot of podcasts right now on my commute when I go to the work. Go to the work.
Oh, my. It's late. We're tired. You didn't eat dinner.
Okay, go again. No, wait, I'll do it. Thank you for listening to another episode of Raising 8.
A couple of sinners trying to raise saints. God bless.
Like us on Apple Podcasts.
Please like us. Like us. And share us with your friends.
So now we're going to keep going?
Nope, we're done. We're done. And then you can start the music.
I just started earlier now, but that'll be fun. I might have to read this how I do it. Here we go. Post-game footage. That's gonna be the picture. Do that dance move again.
This one?
Let's get some great pictures today.